What happens when a franchise coming off a season of chaos decides to roll the dice on injury-prone veterans and inexperienced prospects instead of securing proven talent? The Vancouver Canucks are about to find out, and their high-stakes gamble could either propel them back to relevance or send them spiraling into another year of disappointment. After enduring a tumultuous campaign that left fans questioning everything from management decisions to roster construction, the Canucks entered this offseason with one clear mission: stabilize their core and fill the glaring holes that plagued their lineup. While they managed to lock down key players like Brock Boeser just before he could test unrestricted free agency and secured extensions for goaltender Thatcher Demko and right winger Connor Garland, their most pressing need remains unaddressed. The center position, particularly on their second line, has become Vancouver's Achilles heel. Currently, their internal options read like a medical report and a prospect evaluation sheet rather than a legitimate depth chart. Filip Chytil, the oft-injured forward whose career has been more defined by time in the treatment room than on the ice, represents their most experienced option. Beside him sits Aatu Raty, a promising but largely unproven prospect whose late-season performance in 2024-25 has management cautiously optimistic, but fans understandably nervous. This precarious situation becomes even more alarming when you consider the moves the Canucks have made this summer. Trading away goaltender Arturs Silovs to the Pittsburgh Penguins and shipping fan favorite Dakota Joshua to the Toronto Maple Leafs suggests a team trying to manage salary cap constraints while hoping their internal solutions will somehow materialize into legitimate NHL production. The most telling aspect of Vancouver's predicament emerged through their prolonged pursuit of Jack Roslovic, the versatile 28-year-old forward who can play both center and wing. For weeks, Roslavic appeared to be the perfect fit for what the Canucks needed: a proven NHL veteran with playoff experience who could slot seamlessly into their second-line center role. He represents the best remaining talent in what has become a severely depleted free agent market, making him an increasingly valuable commodity as teams scramble to fill their remaining roster spots. However, according to Thomas Drance of The Athletic, the Canucks' interest in Roslavic has mysteriously cooled in recent weeks. The reasons behind this sudden change of heart paint a concerning picture of Vancouver's approach to roster construction. Roslavic's inconsistency, evidenced by his journey through 4 different organizations since the COVID-shortened 2020-21 season, from Winnipeg to Columbus to New York to Carolina, has apparently given Canucks management pause. But here's where the story becomes truly fascinating. If consistency was their primary concern with Roslavic, what does that say about their confidence in Chytil, whose injury history makes Roslavic's team hopping look like a minor character flaw? The disconnect between their stated concerns and their current roster construction reveals either supreme confidence in their internal development or a troubling lack of realistic assessment. Drance suggests that Vancouver's brain trust believes they can navigate the early portion of the season by banking on 2 significant assumptions: that Chytil will remain healthy enough to contribute meaningfully, and that Raty's promising late-season performance was a genuine indicator of his readiness for increased NHL responsibility rather than a small sample size anomaly. This approach represents a fascinating case study in organizational philosophy. Are the Canucks displaying the kind of patient, long-term thinking that builds sustainable success, or are they simply hoping their problems will solve themselves while avoiding the difficult decisions that championship-caliber teams make? The trade market presents its own set of challenges for Vancouver's front office. Patrick Johnston of the province has indicated that acquiring centers through trades has proven exceptionally difficult this summer, with teams either unwilling to part with their depth or demanding prices that exceed what most clubs are willing to pay. Johnston doesn't expect this dynamic to change significantly before the season begins, leaving the Canucks with limited external options. This scarcity in the trade market makes their Roslavic decision even more perplexing. If proven centers are nearly impossible to acquire via trade and the free agent market has been picked clean, why would they allow concerns about consistency to prevent them from signing the best available option? The situation becomes more intriguing when examining the players who have captured Vancouver's attention but ultimately slipped away. They reportedly had significant interest in Marco Rossi before he signed a 3-year extension with Minnesota Wild, suggesting they recognize the value of young, proven NHL centers. Similarly, their rumored interest in Anaheim's Mason McTavish indicates they understand the potential impact a talented 22-year-old restricted free agent could have on their roster construction. McTavish represents exactly the type of player Vancouver should be pursuing aggressively. His frequent appearance in trade rumors this summer suggests Anaheim might be willing to move him for the right package, and his age aligns perfectly with the Canucks' competitive window. However, as Steve Ewan pointed out, multiple teams are monitoring McTavish's situation, and the Ducks will likely choose to re-sign rather than trade their promising young center. As training camp approaches, the Canucks find themselves in a precarious position that could define their entire season. They've chosen to bet their offensive production on the health of an injury-prone veteran and the continued development of an unproven prospect, while allowing proven talent to sign elsewhere and failing to secure impact players through trade. The irony is palpable. A team coming off a season of instability has chosen stability in the form of familiar faces over the potentially transformative impact of new talent. Whether this conservative approach represents wisdom or wishful thinking will become clear once the puck drops and the games begin to count. The Canucks center situation will undoubtedly be one of the most compelling storylines to follow as the new season unfolds. Will Chytil finally stay healthy long enough to justify their faith in him? Can Raty transform his late-season promise into consistent NHL production? Or will Vancouver find themselves scrambling to address their center depth through costly mid-season trades when their gamble inevitably backfires? What do you think about the Canucks' risky approach to their center depth? Are they showing smart patience with their young players or setting themselves up for another disappointing season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and smash that like button if you think Vancouver's front office is playing with fire.